Alright guys, so welcome to our channel. In this video I want to break down a few things. When you subscribe, you number one help our channel grow, and number two, you're going to learn my trade secrets, tips that I use to make money, and this is very important. So this kind of repair would cost you anywhere from $130 to $200. And the reason why this price is because we're going to be making this computer cool so it can run smoother. It's overheating, and we're going to take the fan out, but to get to the fan is the issue. And while recording this video, the customer can also see how long it takes us to do. So without further ado, these are the tools I'm going to use. I don't have a wristband for static, so I'm going to have this plug here. I'm connecting it to grounds, and I'm going to be touching it throughout the video. I don't have a rug, but you know, just in case I got static in my body, I don't pop the CPU. So I'm going to have this blank piece of paper. I'm going to draw where I'm going to put the screws in. I'm going to use, you know, screws. I'm going to use this plastic plunger, that way I don't scratch anything on the computer. We also have this guitar pick, you know, last resort I have this, but I try not to use it because it could scratch anything that you're trying to open. So I have this little plastic thing, and then we're going to use this thermal paste for the CPU. Now this might take 30 or 40 minutes. If you don't have patience, go to the description. I'm going to have the titles with a timestamp. For example, if you want to get to the CPU much faster, you can click on that title and it'll have the timestamp on it, so it can skip to that part of the video. So let's just dive in. So the first thing you want to do when you deal with a Toshiba, we are going to take this piece off right here. Now this piece right here is holding the keyboard. In order to open this up, definitely have to take that off first. We're gonna use the this piece right here, this plastic, and I'm just gonna run it right by the edge. They have these metal looking things that you can use, but I'm not gonna use that because it's gonna make a mark. And you know how customers are, they're pretty picky with their stuff, especially if you're using metal on it. So we're gonna lift this up. I put it in the bottom. What we're gonna do is lift it up. It's not gonna break, and we're gonna find, you know what, this part has no, this has no screws. So I lied to you guys. I'm not gonna edit this out of the video, but this shows a good point. The screw is actually inside where the battery is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the battery off, and I should have my screwdriver set around here somewhere. Give me a second. Hey guys. What's up? Nice glasses. Thought I was in the video. Okay. Alright, so boom. Let's see. I'm gonna be using one of these. I'm going to be using one of these screws holders for the battery. So I'm going to add, put that in there. So you can see there is one screw right here. And I'm going to put it close to the that looks like it's holding the keyboard. So sometimes when it doesn't want to come out, you can actually grab your nail, put it under the screw, and kind of lift it up while you're turning it, and boom. So that right there is the battery screws. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this near the battery, that way I know where it's going. And the next thing I want to do is take these covers off. So again, you guys can skip over this part of the video by going to the description and looking at the timestamp. But it's you might want to not skip, because you might skip a part that's important. Whenever I take these computers apart, I watch a couple of videos, because a lot of people tend to leave things out. So if we look at this board, we don't see any screws around. This must be something else. So I'm just gonna lift it up, boom. Take the hard drive out, boom, I see. Now, I'm not going to use the paper because it looks like these screws are all the same. And it's not like these are different. See, these computers are personal computers. If this computer was a business grade computer, then I wouldn't have to do all this, because the business computer laptops, they have a cover on the back on this part, and all I have to do is take the screws out, boom, and I can access the thermal paste, the heatsink and the CPU faster. I don't have to take this whole thing apart like I'm doing now. Like personal computers and everything, but the computers that I like are business grade. They're more durable, reliable. Alright. So basically we're taking all these screws out of here. Just like a little baby when he's trying to burp. Just tap him in the back a little bit, slowly, not too hard. So some of these screws might not come out, but they'll come out later. And so again, you can go to the title, skip over when I take all these screws out, and we'll be taking the CD-ROM out next. So I got these two out. See, this is what we do when before we sell a computer. We go through this whole process and make sure that there's thermal paste and the computer's running cool, because if it's not, it's going to overheat. Customer's going to come back to tell you that you sold them a crappy computer. But that's after 3 months. That's why we always give warranty with all of our repairs. So the next thing you want to do is, there's these screws right here that if you leave them here, they will break that area underneath the CD-ROM. So I will put, so what I like to do, I'm going to keep these right here, because this is where the screws are going to be, right under the CD-ROM. So I'll keep those screws with the CD-ROM. And there you go. here. So this is near the hard drive. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this screw right near the hard drive. That's where it's gonna go. I believe it should be the same one. Yeah, it is. I don't have to separate it. Alright, these are out. Alright. Later on, when we try to take the motherboard out, I think we're gonna have to take these out. This Wi-Fi card. That way we can take the motherboard out. So now that we have all the screws taken out, I can flip it around. Let me see the light. I believe that. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. So we're gonna flip it open, and now we can try to take this out. There we go. See, we have one screw actually. Usually there's two of them here, but there's only one that holds the screw. Now we're gonna deal with the keyboard. Alright, so we're gonna take the keyboard screws out. It's a long process, but I believe in you guys. Please subscribe, hit that bell notification so that every time we throw a YouTube video out, which is every day, you'll see a glimpse of it. And trust me when I say this, you guys can make an easy buck doing this repair. Entra, venga.
Dad, do you know where the control is?
I know. Yo me ahorita no voy a decir. I don't know, Mom. I don't know. It's not here. I'll check it out. I don't know.
I checked the couch and the table.
I don't know. Maybe it's in my pocket. I don't have it. No, Paula, no.
And I checked the table. What
Oh,
do you think it could be?
maybe. No sé, no. I didn't use it today.
You did it? So why is the TV on?
I know. That's a good question. Debe estar por ahí. Chequea, I don't know. Maybe it's on the chairs, in one of the chairs.
Where?
On one of the chairs. Check. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift it up a little bit. Ya lo encontraste. And push it forward. Wow, this is pretty in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just grab it from the middle and pop it up. See that? Boom. Turn it around. Now this is a very tricky part. Very important when you're taking the keyboard out. If you can use your nail. You can use this little thing. You gotta lift up this black thing upwards. You're not gonna break it. If you feel more comfortable, grab it by each side. One side with your nail, the other one with this tool right here. Just pop it up. There you go. We slide it backwards. So now look, see this line facing up? You're gonna put it back the same way. Put the keyboard here. There you go. All right. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be taking these screws out of here, and I believe, yeah, they're all the same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep it in one little container. We're gonna grab this screw, this one right here, and all these right there. And let's see what else. this one right here. Alright, sorry about that. I got a little distracted by the face of the book. So we're gonna grab this, all these screws. It says 2.5 times 6 by 6.5. They're all the same, so we're gonna keep them. We're gonna keep all the screws in the same place. Alright, so now that they're all gone, I'm going to actually put this near the keyboard so that I know that these screws belong underneath the keyboard. So what I'll do is I'll put, for instance, on the table, this keyboard just like this. That means that those screws belong under the keyboard. I might use this paper for the inside. I'm gonna put it over it. Alright, so now, see, this one is for, yeah. So I'm gonna put it here. Well, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to take, let's see, this whole panel out of here. So the reason why I know that I have to take this panel, which are pretty much every Toshiba that are older, you'll see that there's a line that's going all around here. So we'll use either this to kind of separate the line. So now you see, yep, perfect, there you go. So you see before, if you don't take these screws out, you can actually break this by pulling it. But I want to make sure there's all the screws are out. Oh, it looks like this side is not out. So yeah, that's that screw earlier that didn't want to come out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna separate and kind of push it a little bit so that I can get the screw out. There we go. You know what? This one looks like I haven't taken it out, actually. Yeah, this is the bottom screws. We're gonna put it right here. There you go. Keep your screws in order, that way you can find it later. And here's another screw, and that one just came out. Alright, so now that that's loose, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little thing. Same as earlier, the little black. I have a nail, so I'm just gonna use my nail to lift it up. The white is facing up. Motherboard is facing up. Take this up. Take this out. So this is the motherboard ribbon cable. Now what I'm going to do is and one of the things I like to do is look under it to make sure that there's no wire or anything or any screws that are holding this, meaning I did not take them all out. So I'm missing, let me see, wait. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm missed one little screw right here. We got another chance, guys. Alright, we take that out. Put that near this. And off with the palm. In the keyboard we go. Looks like we're gonna look underneath and see we have this connector that we didn't take out. I'm going to, let me see. It looks like, yeah, it looks like it slides that way. So I'm gonna grab the black, push it, and there we go. There we have it. There we go, boom. All right. It looks like, see now this is where the fan is. There's a lot of dust. Alright, I'll be careful. I'm gonna unground myself again. Ground myself actually. So we're gonna take this motherboard out. That's the goal that we have. Here we have the plug that's connected to the motherboard. This is a switch that turns the motherboard on, and here's the VGA. So we're gonna take the VGA out. We're gonna push it back. There we go. Now we're gonna take motherboard screws out. Looks like these, no, not these, but these right here. That's that screw that didn't want to come out earlier. And we're going to take this ribbon cable off. That's going to attach to the USBs that are here connected to the motherboard. Bring it back. Bring it back, Mike. Bring it back. So we're looking for screws. Look, there's one right here. The good thing about this is all these screws are the same. So kind of, you want to definitely have a plan to arrange the screws, because you might put them in the wrong place. Alright, so that's... Alright, I took the fan screw out. Alright, so we're gonna press this way. And there we go. Wait a minute. Let's go. So we'll want to look underneath. Make sure there's nothing that we can break. Nothing. Alright, it looks like just a Wi-Fi card. We have this little piece right here that's holding things back. And let's see. We're gonna take Alright, so underneath there is something that's holding the motherboard, and there's that switch right here. We're just gonna take it out. Let's see. So black is gonna be on the right and white is gonna be on the left. Just so we can remember when to put it back. Alright. There we go. We took the motherboard out. We're gonna clean all the stuff out of here. Oh man. People who have rugs, this happens. there's dust everywhere. So now we're gonna work on the motherboard. Alright? See the beauty of dust particles are everywhere. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean it. Oh man. Alright, let me look for something here. Should have. So what we're gonna do is, this is what we're gonna take off. We're gonna take the heatsink out. First, we're gonna unplug the fan, so when we take the heatsink out, we can lift it up ever so gently. And there we go. So I want you guys to check out what's underneath the hood. Alright, we don't want to do that. I'm going to unground myself again. Ground myself. Alright. Kind of hard to talk and do this both at once. So look, this is thermal paste. What happens is the robots, they put too much on it, right? So when this touches, you know, it creates like a sandwich, all the thermal paste kind of spreads out and it's not even doing anything. So what we're gonna add is just a little bit. So we're gonna take the old one out. Alright, so we are going to use this bad boy right here to scrape out some of the old paste. Alright, now that it's there, we're going to use it here too. And we're just going to scrape the old thermal paste out. Alright, I'm going to use this little, to take off all the old residue out of there. We're going to add some 99% alcohol on the chip to clean it. Alright. Now it's nice and clean. We are going to focus now on the heatsink. This is what's cooling the laptop. Alright, so if this is not doing a good job, what happens is the heat, it stays right on the CPU. It goes nowhere. And it starts overheating. But we are going to take a look at the inside of this fan. 2 screws that hold it. Careful with these bad boys, leave them on. That's probably what's going to cool the other chips that are around the CPU. And there should be another one. There it is. I think it's hiding. That screw, the last screw of the fan. Aha, there you go. I saw you. Yeah. So there's the screw. Boom. Subscribe, guys. Come on, help me out. We need $100. I need to get that black soon. Alright. So there should be another one. I think the tape is actually doing that job of holding. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. It looks like there's not a lot of dust particles in there, but there is here, as you guys can see it. We're gonna be cleaning all that out. So the goal is to take this off. Be careful, because you can ruin the motor. Of the fan. That took a while. Alright, so let's take this out of here. The tape that's holding the fan. I'm going to separate the fan, and I'm going to clean this. I'm going to take these little bad boy pads out here. That way they don't get ruined. Be careful that you don't break them. Here we go. Boom. Put it here. And we take the second one. Move it from the bottom. Bingo. Santo Domingo. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dip this in our solution so we can go ahead and clear all this junk out of here. There we go. This is why it's not breathing correctly. So you don't want to use an air gun, because this dust will just travel inside the computer, and it could clog your fan, and it could actually ruin your fan if you're trying to blow air through here. With a can, you know, through the computer's ventilation. So there you go. Boom, boom, boom. Got that. Alright, so I'm gonna go dip this in the solution. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, brethren, thanks for holding. While I was gone, I actually cleaned this up, put some heat on it to dry it out, and now we have a perfect heatsink. Now we're gonna let this dry. I mean, I actually put it in the hot surface, that way it can dry off. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this air can. I'm going to hold the fan, because if I hit it while it's spinning, it could spin so fast that it could ruin the coils inside the fan. So grab the little carbon fiber cloth here. I'm going to put this through it. Just going to clean the little because a little bit of dust will attract other dust mites, and then you have a clogged fan. Clean it up. You can get a Q-tip also, or one of those little brushes, those little anti-static brushes that I don't have right now. Pull some air. Be careful you don't break. Gently. Clean every single one of them. There we go. All right. Alright, so a lot of dust. See what? That's pretty clean. So now I'm just gonna put it back on this. Let's see. So what happens is this heats up from the CPU. The fan blows the hot. It heats up this coil right here, made out of copper. You know that copper takes in heat. Boom! This heats up, takes the heat from the CPU away, and the fan blows it out. Now, if this ventilation is full of dust, then what happens? The heat gets trapped. The CPU works harder. It's like putting a a pillow in your face. You're not going to be able to breathe, and eventually you're going to die. So that's what happens to the laptop. So we're going to believe this was up or down. Okay, this is how the CPU goes, and then Alright, so it does go this way. And then, okay. Alright. So... Alright, flip it over, boom. We're gonna put these back where we found them before we forget. So this flips around, there we go.